Hi, I'm Tom Lydon, editor of ETF Trends here in Washington, D.C. at the Charles Schwab Impact Conference. And I'm here with Rob Arnott, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Research Affiliates. Rob, thanks for carving out some time to be with us.
Delighted to do so.
Well, it's great catching up with you, and there's been so much buzz about fundamental indexing. And congratulations, I heard you folks just hit a big milestone.
We crossed the 100 billion mark last quarter of licensed fundamental index strategies, so that's terrific news.
That's a big number. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And I know more and more advisors are hearing about fundamental indexing, but just take a minute and give us the basics so everybody's up to speed.
Sure. Well, classic indexing tends to be done based on market capitalization. How much is the company worth in the stock market? That means that the more expensive the stock is, the more weight it has in your portfolio. Why do we want to do that? Why do we want to own more of a company just because it's more expensive? Fundamental index takes a different approach. It says we want to weight companies according to how big their business is. What are its sales? What are its profits? What's its book value? What are its dividends? 4 different measures of the size of a company's business to give us a nice composite measure of the overall scope of the business. The bigger the company's business, the more we want to own. And that's the convenient anchor for the weight. If the price goes up and the company's size doesn't, we're going to trim it. Okay. If the price goes down and the company's size doesn't, we're going to buy more. So it's an anchor for rebalancing and for contra-trading against the emotion-driven shifts in price that are constantly happening in the marketplace.
And all this strategy is wrapped into an index, right?
Yes, it is.
And how often is it rebalanced?
The rebalancing is done once a year, but it's done in 4 stages, 4 quarterly stages, so that the trading is spread over the course of a year so that it doesn't impact the market a lot, and you wind up with a little bit of trading every quarter, and you wind up moving 1/4 of the way towards your intended fundamental weight every quarter. So it's a nice, smooth, steady process.
You started the first index back in 2005, and then you partnered with the folks at PowerShares, and you've got some numbers that are over 5 years old now, right? With the PowerShares ETFs?
Well, the oldest one is about to have its 8th birthday.
Oh my gosh, where'd time go? But what's great about it is now is not just compare the index, but we've got real performance that we can compare to cap-weighted indexes. And as advisors are looking at the way that they're allocating strategies and benchmarks, we're seeing more and more talk about this smart beta world in the middle, which you pioneered. And many of us thought that active management was going to explode. But sure enough, it's been this mid area with areas like fundamental indexing that has got a lot of popularity.
I think that's exactly right. What we've seen is that the live experience has ratified the long-term historical tests. When you go back historically, we found that fundamental index beat cap weighting by about 2% a year in major economies like the US, by maybe 3% in smaller economies and small companies, by 4% a year when applied globally, by 6 or 8% a year applied in emerging markets. And the live experience has been good. The live experience with the strategies that go back to 2005 are showing performance nearly 2% a year better than the capitalization weighted market. Now, why is that important? It's important because early critics said it's just a back test, and it's just a value tilted strategy cleverly repackaged as a fundamental index. Well, it was just a back test, and it was and is a value tilted strategy. So, fair enough. Value indexes since 2005 have underperformed the market, and fundamental index has won by nearly as much as it did historically. I can't wait to see how it does when value starts to win again.
Right, right. It will be interesting. So right now, for advisors that are listening, what are some of your favorite, or if you could make one fundamental index strategy that you're really excited about?
Well, I'm a contrarian. Most people hate buying what is down.
Yeah.
Most people love chasing whatever's performed best.
Yes.
I don't. Emerging markets have been a real disappointment for most investors. Worse than that, growth stocks in emerging markets have fared okay and value has not. So fundamental index uncharacteristically has underperformed in emerging markets over the last 3 years. So I look on that and I think, oh my goodness, these are getting really cheap. The price relative to 10-year earnings, the Shiller PE ratio for the US is 24 times earnings. The Shiller PE ratio for emerging markets fundamental index is 9.
Wow.
9 times
Wow.
earnings. I look on that as a real bargain.
Yeah.
That's where I'd be buying.
Great. Rob, thanks again for stopping by. Really
It's a
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thanks
you.
for your time.
Thank you.
Take care.